First of all, they need to open everything. If you're touring this place, open these windows. You don't walk into a meeting space that you're touring with the windows closed. That'd be like trying to sell a home. You know, imagine if you were selling your home and you closed all the windows. No way. This is what you need to do. Okay, this is tip number one. You sell in a space, open the damn windows. I mean, goodness gracious. But this is it. I mean, groups ask, hey, Bryan, we need space with natural lighting. Well, look at this room. And, you know, you can hear the mowers. You can see the sun up and down here. You can see the lake and the fountain. You can experience Florida while you're meeting in Florida. This is pretty special. They need to focus on this more. This is a beautiful offering. And she mentioned it, and you can smell the cedar, the wood, because it has these real wood planks up here, so you can smell it. So you get this, it's nice. Did you get any of that? Sweet. All right, where should we go? We're gonna crawl in. We're gonna start, and then we're gonna creep into the site inspection. Okay.
So how's the weather? What do you think of today?
Oh man, it could be perfect weather. Probably 74 degrees, not a cloud in the sky. Not bright yet because the sun's not all the way up. Just gorgeous, very calm. Perfect day for golf if you're golfing. Today we're not golfing, not yet, but today we're just touring this 176 room family-owned resort in Howey in the Hills, Florida. And it's called Mission Inn. And it's about 45 minutes from Orlando. You know, we're checking it out.
Like you're in Orlando a year?
No, it's funny, when we first came here, we were talking to one of the people that worked here, and I'm coming out of the car, and you know, I'm on Orlando speed, and I show up and I'm starting to talk to the staff, and it's like they're winding me down. You know, it's like island time, you know, but it's Mission Inn time, and everything's just a lot more laid back, which to me, when you can captivate an audience in a meeting or an event, that's exactly what you're looking to do. So we're tagging along on this tour today, and we're going to experience this property from a meeting planner's perspective. So I checked in, rooms have all been renovated, they're big. Really what we're talking about is those groups, maybe 120 to 150, that, you know, state associations that need to have a captive audience. You know, we were talking last night, people are always looking for an excuse to break away. We don't want you to look for an excuse to break away. We want you to stay here. We want you to stay here, stay together, you know, maybe after dinner, go hang out with each other afterwards, you know, spend a little time together. And so that's the audience we're looking at, and that's the audience we're talking about right now. So let's go join the tour and see what they've got going on today.
Oh, were you being interviewed and I'm standing there?
It's okay, it's okay.
It's okay.
So sorry.
You're all right, you're fine. That's when you blend it in right there. Did that come off all right? Isn't this badass? So the cool thing about this place that I love, if I'm putting together an event, I'm utilizing, you know, these fountains and rooms that are looking at this. I mean, they've got a billiard room here, just like a chill room that overlooks this courtyard. On the inside, there's another one of these courtyards, and to me, I mean, if you can incorporate this into your reception or into your, you know, your meet and greet, or maybe it's even, you know, right outside, you know, set up a registration area where people have to gather, utilizing this environment, unbelievable. Really, really, really nice. So this is that other courtyard I was talking about. I mean, if you're doing an event, especially if it's like 100 people, this definitely has to be part of it. I mean, this is just relaxing and just gorgeous. Maybe a little, you know, reception. Do a little lunch.
Yeah, the sax guy playing last night here.
Oh yeah, man.
Saxophone going on live.
Yeah. That's the thing. If we could pop in. Oh yeah. I mean, at night these bulbs are on, and it just really gives an awesome vibe.
Me and the guy that does the construction, we're so close now that he knows what I'm photoshopping. So I photoshopped to how many blocks across and whatever. So it's kind of fun. But he literally got up there and moved the bushes to tie it back. It was just getting stuck all the time because there's thorns in those. But when they bloom, it's completely red. It's beautiful.
So this was added.
Oh, that was.
Yeah, looks great. Yeah, sure does. It's, you know, small groups. It could be 20, could be 50, could be 100, could be 125, 150 max. 125, let's call it 125. But the thing I heard last night is you hear all the time, we've got a captive audience, we don't want to lose our audience. We understand that. But the thing that really resonated with me last night was, you know, you don't want your attendees planning their escape. You want them engaged. You know, if after dinner you want the 2 sales reps to go, you know, sit on the patio and, you know, have a cigar. You want that. That's a good thing. You know, and I think in other markets where there's temptation or opportunities, people are always planning their escape. Hey, when this meeting breaks, let's bolt. You know, and I think that that's counterproductive to what we're trying to invest in. I think the return on your meeting is much higher if you're a small group in this type of environment. I really like it for that. You got to be able to walk through it in virtual reality.
Yeah.
Right on the meetings.
When we do that too, we can make sure Sal follows us, so we can do the breakout rooms.
Exactly.
Real time.
But just it empty.
Yeah.
The whole space so people can walk it, because it's more of a banquet quality. I mean, it's elegant.
Well, that's what we need to kind of plan that, because that way we can see what's going on and make sure it's a day where they can pull stuff out.
I'm bringing another one.
You can show me meeting space until you're blue in the face. I've seen space all over the country. I've seen large and small space. Where I judge space is the foyer. You know, how much foyer space, you know, what is it? So a couple cool things. This ship room, which is basically an office they, you know, put behind this ship wall, so that's pretty cool. The other thing is it's a little wide here, but it's themed. It's got a good theme to it. It's very old school, but very elegant. I like it, but this is kind of cool. I mean, you know, it looks like a private club, but it's got a good vibe for it. Same, you know, a good decor for its target audience, which is the state associations, those smaller corporate groups, state groups. But I really like the space. A lot of, you know, I put out RFPs and requests for information to different hotels and things, and I see a lot of dates and rates and, you know, ballroom sizes, and there's a lot of PDF files, a lot of PDFs. Those hotels love to send you a PDF. But I don't get a lot of virtual reality. I don't get a lot of interactivity. I don't get a lot of meetings-specific content. If meetings are as important to you as you say they are, then you need to market them as aggressively as you do your leisure rooms. And so I see a lot of hotels that, you know, they have all this meeting space and they have to fill it, and they have all these salespeople to do that, but they have very little content. So, you know, this is, we're here at the Mission Inn, and we really, what we want to do is kind of radiate some energy off of this pin on the map, so that there's more eyeballs on the opportunity and people can go, you know what? And that's it. And let me tell you, 150 rooms, 125 rooms, 100 rooms, 75 rooms, and you're looking for a captive audience, man, I can't get away from that. I mean, it's spectacular. It's real Florida, and it's real captive. And if golf is a component, it's a no-brainer. We were just talking about that. If golf's a component, it's a no-brainer. It's not a necessity, but if it's a component, it's a no-brainer. Howey in the Hills is in elevation, and if you're from Florida, everything's flat. Everything is so flat, and so if you're a golfer, getting some of that elevation is a huge thing. But even just as a Floridian who's always used to flat, just coming out here and seeing elevation and climbing into the top, highest elevation and feeling the cooler weather, because it does feel a little cooler up here, it's kind of a treat, and so if you have a group, you kind of feel like you're in a different place. And if you're in Florida, if you're in the Southeast and you want to get away, but still not be too far away, I think it's pretty interesting. So the more I see, the more I like. We've seen the rooms, absolutely fantastic. We've seen the space, for the size groups that need it, perfect. Seeing some lounging areas, which I think are very dependent upon weather. So I think, weather is a big factor here. So peak season, the cooler weather months, obviously, but definitely deals to be had in the summer months, where absolutely golf is a component. There's a transformation taking place right now, and there's a transformation taking place in the meetings industry. And I think there's as my father used to call it, a changing of the guard, a shift from one type of person to another type of person, planning and organizing events. And so there's a whole group of people who have no clue what is out here at Mission Inn. And so it's awesome to be able to share this so that people can see that this opportunity exists. There's more options than you think. Include this when you include certain things. I think it's very, very important. But one of the things that's very interesting about this property is because of the leisure demand on the weekends, the Friday, Saturday, Sunday pattern, really the meetings that are Sunday arrival, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, even a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday pattern, those patterns are very attractive to this hotel. So if you have a group that can meet on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you have a nice opportunity to help them, level out their week. It could be a win-win. And as Mr. Marriott used to say, a mutually beneficial relationship. So think about that. If you have a group Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Mission Inn could be a great opportunity. Again, state associations, I think, is their prime target, but small groups. And if golf is a component, no-brainer. No-brainer. I mean, some of the best golf experience, true golf, Florida elevations that you can find. But I really think the booking pattern, as organizers of meetings understand the needs of a hotel and the booking pattern, and they can work with the hotel, there's some great opportunities to be had. Right now, hotels keep driving rate, and I know I heard some recent negative news in the press about profits being down for certain big brands, but I think that there's going to be a slower decline in pricing for meetings and events than maybe the leisure rates. So as hotels continue to drive rate, you've got to find different opportunities. You've got to open your eyes and open your search and look for little diamonds in the rough like this for those groups. Again, 25 people, 50 people, 100 people, 150. I think the wheelhouse for this hotel is about 125 people. I think if you got a group 75 to 125, it's a really nice fit for this property. I didn't say a word. She came up to us and said, "Do you want me to turn that off for you while you film?" I'm like, oh my God. She gets on her phone, it's cut off. But seriously, as a meeting planner, are you kidding me? We're in a meeting and the power pressure washer is outside of our window. You want someone to get that shit off. So something that I did not know, and I don't even know the name, but 3 miles from here, Walt Disney was born and raised. I used to think Disney was a California guy. It's not true. Walt Disney is a Florida boy. This is Bud's office. Bud Butcher. His father purchased this place in the 60s. His office is right here, right by the front desk, right here. Bang, bang, heart of his resort. It's pretty cool. You don't see it very often. It's very cool. So as they're giving us a little tour of this marina banquet ballroom meeting room set up here. They've got a marina down here, but and then they've got a ropes course over here. So a high ropes course and a low ropes course. So for those sales meetings, I keep thinking competitive groups, sales meetings, and you come out here with a little banquet and you got this view. It's pretty special.
But it's nice to be able to even bounce off-site. Like you said,
Exactly.
You're still in the same area. You can't go anywhere. But it is nice to
Get away,
outside,
get away, go to another venue. Especially when you're there for 2 or 3 days, because you go back to the same view, it's not as inspiring as the first time. But if you get up and move and come in and get this view, I heard someone last night say they did an event here years ago, and their best part was when they had a party of 50 on the water. I mean, you can't replicate this in a lot of part of the country. Hopping on a pontoon boat with 50 people in a reception. That's hard to replicate. So giving them a unique experience, that's what it's all about right now, because the world has gone to hotel consolidation, which they're trying not to consolidate the experience, but it's going to come naturally. So open up the search and find something unique. I think that's what you're looking at here. It's here for the group. So if the group would like to do this, then that's what you do. I mean, that's real simple to understand. Especially if you have that pattern, because it's really hard to do what you want to do when it's a Saturday during peak wedding season, right? So if you're coming in on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday pattern, and you're going to layer alongside what their core business on the weekends, which is those weddings and social events, now it becomes a really amazing opportunity, because it is an empty canvas, do whatever you want. And I just keep looking at this water. For people up north right now, they're in snow, and it's hard to get inspired at a meeting when you're sitting indoors with snow. You come out here and let's see if this. Come out here and check this out. See this moss? I mean, this is. I just can't. I keep going back to. You don't want your attendees planning their escape, especially when you're trying to bring everybody together. And I think that's the biggest thing they've got going for them is, you bring that back with everybody buried in their phone and working remote and being separated, different parts of the country, different parts of the state, maybe different parts of the world. These opportunities to come together are rare, but they're so critically important. So you want to make sure you're going somewhere that's going to have some inspiration. It's not going to be cookie cutter. I mean, look through here. This certainly isn't cookie cutter. Roy wanted to make sure you guys were coming to lunch. He just wanted to make sure you knew you were welcome to come eat. It's crazy, those climbing up those trees.
We full of life, you keep the change.